Getting out of China is proving increasingly difficult. British Airways, along with a couple of low-cost Asian carriers, Lion Air and Air Seoul, have today become the first international airlines to suspend all flights, both to and from mainland China. And this is in the face of the rapidly increasing numbers. Let's look at those next. For the second straight day, infections in China have jumped significantly, well over 1,400 up from yesterday and 10 times the number that was reported just a week ago. So there you see the number of infections. They also show there have been 132 deaths in China right now, almost 6,000 cases of the virus. These are confirmed, many more suspected. The number of infections in China is now greater than the number of SARS cases. In Tibet this morning, that's the latest region to see a case. China with 99% of the world's coronaviruses, but again, Tibet the latest, and also the United Arab Emirates this morning has become the very first Middle Eastern country to see the virus. Lots of moves countries are making to try to contain its spread and to stop human-to-human transmission with no Chinese links. Germany is reporting one of those links, incidentally, interestingly, this morning, one of the first of that type of transmission not regarding Chinese travel, and it's the first human-to-human transmission not involving Chinese travel in Europe. So this is what we're watching as countries take other measures. In Queensland, as we move to Australia, health officials have isolated the Chinese national women's soccer team in a hotel in Brisbane for the next week. They spent time in Hubei province recently. So we're going to keep you right up to date on all of the measures that countries are taking to try to contain the spread of this coronavirus. Let's come back to the whole question of airlines and the actions that they are taking. Scott is here with more on what BA are doing and more on what a major Canadian carrier is doing as well. Scott.
Yeah, because these are commercial enterprises and they're reacting to two separate things. One is the restriction on movement within China itself, and also adapting to public demand. And you can imagine that is down severely. So starting with Air Canada, they are canceling what they're calling select flights to and from China this morning to quote-unquote better match capacity. So they have over 6 flights per day. That's about 33 flights every week. So they're saying as well that customers can change or cancel their flights at any time and extend them to perhaps after the contagion is contained. Also, in addition this morning, British Airways this morning is canceling all flights, a more dramatic move. Budget carriers as well, like Lion Air, suspending again all flights to and from China. Air Seoul suspending all flights as well. And previously, we'd heard from United Airways, Finnair, and Hong Kong-based Cathay Pacific saying that they are canceling more than half of their flights and making changes and cancellations available free of charge to customers. And this is, of course, in addition to American and Delta. They're offering free waivers for anybody that wants to delay travel. They're not changing so far, but you can imagine that airlines around the world are watching the developments within mainland China very closely indeed.
Scott, I'm wondering, we talk about the economic impact of all of this. We're also getting some major global companies which are taking action, some telling their employees there will be no travel to China, some saying if you're working in China, work from home, but also some others actually closing down outlets, or temporarily. We should be very clear on that, temporarily. What are we hearing there? Yeah,
indeed. Starbucks coming out, or IKEA, I should just say, just a few moments ago said they are going to close the doors on about half of their IKEA locations within China. That represents about, they have half of their 30 stores. Also, we're hearing from Starbucks late yesterday, they're closing more than half of their 4,300 locations across China as well for obvious reasons. This is previously we've heard from McDonald's, KFC doing the same thing. And this fallout continues as authorities and commercial enterprises like these restaurants continue to sort of ring fence these areas and try to contain this virus and the contagion, Heather.